amongst the riders, it has been one of the most tightly contested seasons of AMA Supercross racing, not just at the top, but all the way through the top 10. We'll show you what you mean when we come back to Jacksonville for more Supercross on Speed. Jacksonville, Florida, the 5th different city to host Supercross here in the Sunshine State, joining Daytona, Miami, Tampa, and Orlando. Great night here in Jacksonville and some great racing taking place. And some of the best racing this year has been from 5th up through 9th, and it is super, super tight. As you can see, only 14 points separating these 5 riders. And you can see how well all 5 of them have been doing so far this year. And this fight, even though it's not for a title, can go either way between now and the season finale in Las Vegas. Earlier this weekend, we had a chance to catch up with these 5 different riders and talk to them about just how intense this battle is.
With the class being so stacked, a lot of competition. If you start 10th, 12th, and all those fast guys are in front of you, it's going to be hard to come through the pack. You know, 11 different guys that have gotten podiums, so that shows how well everyone's stepping it up and how much better you need to be to beat everyone every weekend.
The class is so deep. We've seen a lot of incredible names in our sport not make main events this year, and the talent's deep. So when you don't get that start, you're stuck with a caliber of riders that are, you know, great riders in their own respect. It's not in the money. It's not in the highlight reels. It's not holding the trophy at the end of the day.
Being able to kind of, you know, race for 3rd is possible, and on any given race, anybody can finish 3rd. Because from 3rd to about 12th, everyone's about the same speed. It just depends on who's, you know, willing to go for it and, you know, fight for it. And I think on any given night, anybody can be 3rd.
I'm not really worried about anybody else, but just myself and just going out there and riding the best I can. And if I'm close to the front 2 guys, then I'm going to be close to a podium. I guess that's when I really think about it.
You know, it's hard for me to come from way back with this group of riders that's here to all the way up to the podium, and you know, I'm struggling with that. And other than that, I'm just looking for a good start, and hopefully with a good start, I can be up there with those guys.
There's some fast guys out there. You know, a start really helps, and I've been up and down on my starts this year. With a good start, 3rds. You know, right there with pretty easy to grab. But obviously with a bad start, it's definitely tough. There's some guys that are good and that are you know, tough racers.
Well, we have a special guest joining us in the booth here in Jacksonville, a guy who hails from nearby Tallahassee, Florida. Now he's a big NASCAR star, the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Ricky Carmichael here with Jeff and I. And Ricky, we got a great championship points battle going on. But you just saw these guys fighting here from 5th on back through 9th. Great fights all the way through the points this year. What do you like about watching the series this season?
Well, I think there's so much parity as seasons before. You know, these guys are so competitive, and to finish top 5 in the premier Supercross class is a pretty good feat. To accomplish that, you're doing something right, and it's amazing we only have 4 races left, and there's only 14 points separating of them all. Pretty amazing.
Jeff, a lot of those guys have made their way to the podium this year as well.
Yeah, you know, everyone except Ivan Tedesco. He's been the most consistent, you know, inside the top 10, so he needs that podium finish. But I'm telling you, there's a lot of guys that are really fighting for that, because you want to be the champion, or if I can't do that, then I want to be inside the top 3. After that, the next breakdown is to be inside the top 5. That's really what the sponsors are looking at and what the race teams are. So all these guys are battling, they're working hard, and, you know, it's a dogfight each and every night.
Well, Tedesco rode very well in his heat race, so maybe tonight is the night where he gets on that podium. We'll find out, because we're getting close to the main event. Sumo getting ready to get underway here in Jacksonville. Getting ready at the gate. There you saw James Stewart, and a couple of slots down in the gate is that man, the points leader, the #1, the reigning champ of Chad Reed. As we get ready for this one, Reed and Stewart both win their heat races. fastest qualifier of the day, James Stewart. And Aaron, once again, as we get ready for another Progressive pre-race report, we've got a great one building.
We definitely do. Well, Chad Reed's manager, Roger DeCoster, informed me after first practice that they changed up the dimensions on the exhaust system of Chad's bike. What that does, it slows down the engine a little bit, makes it a little bit of a smoother ride, able to handle the corners a little bit easier. He said that Chad has a tendency to be a little bit aggressive with the power, so this should help try to minimize any kind of additional mistakes. He's ready for a challenge. It's going to be one heck of a battle here in Jacksonville when the main event gate drops.
What do you think of that, Ricky?
Well, I think that's definitely going to help his situation for the start. That bike is so fast, it's hard for him to put the power to the ground and accelerate forward.
Well, and let's take a look at the track map here. I'm telling you, it's going to come down to the start, I think. But the track, there's a lot of traction. The ruts are forming really good. It's a track that you can be really aggressive on, and we are going to see that here in the main event.
Absolutely. I mean, it's no messing around now. It's for the title, and like Jeff hit it the nail on the head. You can ride this track as hard as you want. It has the traction. You've got to go. If you're Reed and Stewart's out front, you've got to go. Yeah, I mean,
well, and if you look at the start here, this is Reed, and way down here is James Stewart, way on the inside. We've seen that inside work.
Here's our Progressive starting grid in the head, and we're ready to go. And Reed gets a better start than Stewart. The whole shot goes to Alessi, and Reed goes to the front of the field. James Stewart sits in third behind Michael Alessi, but for how long? He comes to the inside, and now the two title combatants run 1 and 2. Reed just in front of James Stewart. This is why everybody packs into the stadiums to watch these two guys go at it. Oh, and Alessi almost runs right into it.
Well, and that's Chad Reed definitely making up for that bet that he lost to Alessi about the whole shot, because Chad Reed finally gets the start he needs here for this championship, and the battle is on between the two fastest riders in the world.
Here we go. I think James is going to follow him for a little bit. Follow him, see what he's going to do. And then when the time is right, try to get by him. And Les Reed can just pull away.
Well, and don't forget, Mike Alessi, he has been really fast here tonight. Maybe one of the best rides that we've seen him put in. And if he can get there close to James Stewart, apply some pressure to him and take him out of his rhythm, that'll work to his teammates' advantage, Chad Reed.
Alessi had a podium, his first career podium at Indianapolis.
Oh,
Alessi's down at the top of your screen.
Yep, that's going to take him right out of the run as he gets just in front of Ivan Tedesco and Josh Grant.
Well, and look at the parity that we were talking about.
Jason Lawrence with problems on the 338 as well. Tough break for him. He had been so fast earlier on tonight. But meanwhile, Chad Reed on the Rockstar Makita Suzuki just in front of that San Manuel Yamaha of James Stewart.
So, Ricky, tell us what it's like going through this section here for Chad Reed. What's the mentality here 3 laps into this main event?
Well, I think he's just going to try to go, Jeff. I think he's going to try to check out if he can. Probably not possible. Look at there, tripling in. Got to do that. James did not do that. He's going to try to check out if he can get a little breathing room. He is in a good position right now, but there's a lot of race left. Man.
Let's see what happened to Michael Alessi.
Watch here, he goes to the outside and he loses the front wheel.
You can see his front wheel. It's like there's a rut hidden. You guys can see.
And then there's Lawrence going down.
Well, Lawrence had a good start, not great, but it was good, and he goes down. And this is one of those tracks where we were talking about how hard you can ride it. Looks like these riders have really felt comfortable and pushed it, and they've just gone too far.
Looked like Brock Kepler was involved in that incident as well with the 338 of Lawrence.
Reedy putting in some good laps here.
52.1 for Chad Reed, a 52.8 for James Stewart last time around.
Ricky, you've raced with both of these guys for championships, and you've beaten both of them. Talk about pressure and how these two riders individually deal with pressure, Reed and Stewart.
Well, they're both very different. You can pressure Chad Reed as hard as you want. He will not falter. James, on the other hand, he wants to win so bad, and sometimes the throttle doesn't go the other way. One thing about James, he is going to give it 110%. Sometimes it works for him. Most of the time it does. Sometimes it doesn't.